What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some very big news that just came out with the PPI reports, and I'll do this looking in terms of news for the markets and how the charts are reacting. But before we get the doubles information, before I talk about why the market is pumping so far, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 of them. And the offer ends in just 2.5 weeks. Anyways, what's happening with the market right now is SPY is pumping, so is Tesla attempting to follow the trend. QQQ is also making a nice move, and so is Nvda. Kind of similar to what I was talking about for Nvda yesterday, but as of right now, the market's reacting to PPI. Let's break down these numbers. So PPI and initial jobless claims came out. Initial jobless claims was also below expectations, which is showing some strength in the labor market. Continuing jobless claims was above expectations, which suggests that, once again, there's strength in the labor market. This is still fueling the soft landing narrative. That's part of why the market's pumping, but also PPI. PPI month over month was 0.2% below expectations. Core PPI month over month was 0.2%, aligned with expectations. And then for core PPI year over year compared to the previous year, we had 2.4%. This was a little bit above the consensus of 2.3%. So core PPI was a little bit hot, but what is good for the markets is the fact that PPI is right here. Year over year, it was 2.1%. This was aligned with expectations. So most of the PPI data was aligned with expectations. Not too bad. Only one metric was a little hot. And this is a little bit good for inflationary data for the next month for CPI, because this tends to be very forward looking. The market is liking this. The market's reacting positively. And so far, this is helping SPY pump a bit. So something worth noting. The market had a big dive yesterday after we had CPI come out, hotter than expected. But now we're attempting to rebound a bit, chiefly thanks to PPI. We also have more Fed speakers coming out. The Fed does have plans to cut rates, but they need more decent data. So we'll have to see if this continues for them, if this changes, as we have more Fed speakers later on for today. There's also a letter that came out from the CEO of Amazon to the annual shareholders letter, if anything like that. And he basically says he's committed to cutting costs even as the company keeps investing in growth areas like AI. That's good news for Amazon. Also, the department store Macy's has settled a proxy fight with a real estate investor, Ark House. It's going to add 2 Ark House nominees to a 15-person board. That is some big changes right there. So that is something worth noting, at least for the market so far. Let me also note that later on, we have Williams giving a speech. Then we have the bill auctions coming out at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Collins giving a speech, and then we have just other very minor pieces of data, followed by Bostic giving a speech. So some bill auctions come out, a bond auction, and then a bunch of Fed speakers throughout the day. All of this is kind of minor. It's not that extreme, but it's something worth noting for now. So we'll have to see what the reactions are thus far. But as of right now, the main things we're going to be looking for are Williams giving a speech, some bill auctions in a couple of hours, and another Fed speaker, and I'll talk more about the rest of the data later on. For Tesla, I just want to note that we had some good news as they're launching more of their vehicles in more European countries. And there's also some bad news as there's some analysts giving some negative reports for their sales growth. But that's it for Tesla. Let's focus on the charts now. Let's talk about how things are looking, in my personal opinion. So far, we're showing some signs of life, and the market is attempting to rebound a bit because we've got some decent data. On SPY, make sure you're watching 516 as resistance. If you break this, watch 517.5 to 518. If we break above 518, which is very close to our 200 EMA, 520 is going to be our next target. For support, watch 515. If we lose this 515 area, watch 514.64, followed by a bigger dip to this 514 area. And if we lose that, watch 512.5, followed by lower levels below. As of right now, we're pushing up higher, attempting to test our 50 EMA. It's going to be a big test at 516 that's coming. I think we could attempt to break it. We could even try to go higher. So I'm looking at more potential upside that could be coming to SPY. That's more buyers to defend it. So looking to see an attempt to push higher. We're seeing some life on the chart. For Tesla, I'm a little concerned about Tesla because there could be a head and shoulders like structure developing here. This could be like a left shoulder. This could be a head and then a right shoulder. Could be forming technically, but nothing's guaranteed yet until we see Tesla's reaction. As of right now, Tesla's testing 172.88 as resistance around that range. This is where our EMAs happen to be. And above that, we have 175 as resistance and 177.6. We have support at 170.5. If we kind of pop and start losing 170.5, there's going to be a risk of a bigger dip because of the head and shoulders. So watch 167.8 as support and a 165. As of right now, let's not worry about the head and shoulders entirely. I think it could still attempt to push higher thanks to the overall market. So we'll have to see if Tesla could try to break out towards 175 and watch and see what the reaction is. Do we push a little bit higher than reject, or do we manage to push higher and then continue to push from there? As of right now, I'm looking for a push, and I think we could get back towards 170, the high 172s, and then 170, just under 175. So I do see potential in this. And then we'll have to see what the reaction is from there. But I do see some more potential for Tesla to push a bit higher from here. QQQ is looking pretty decent. Going to be looking for a move for about 441.21. If we break this, watch 442, then 444. For support, watch 439.61. If we lose that, 438 is coming, then 436. Overall, we look more bullish. Going to be looking for an attempt to get to 441. I could see this attempt to go all the way up there, if not 442. And I am seeing more bullish potential on the chart, especially thanks to the one and only Nvda. In my video yesterday, I said technically speaking, Nvda looked bullish, but it also depended on PPI. PPI is helping this, if anything. So we're going to be looking for a push towards our 200 EMA at this, I think it's at 884 or 882 right now. It's been curling a little bit downwards. So right here, watch 882 to 885. If that breaks, watch 892. For support, make sure you watch 872. And if that fails, watch 866, followed by 862. And if that fails as well, we'll come down to 853. But as of right now, the chart's looking a bit more bullish, and I am seeing a move a little bit higher. I think we're going to be testing at least 882 and even higher levels like that. So I'm seeing more potential in this chart. For Aapl, I'm seeing some potential, but let me just note that 169 is some tough resistance. We have to break this. If we do break it, look for a push for 170.12. If we fail to break it, watch 168 as support. But I'm seeing some potential in this chart nonetheless. For a few more tickers, we have Supermicro attempting to bounce just like Nvda. We called out 920 yesterday. We got that. We could even push a little higher towards this imbalance, all the way up to higher levels. So look for 938 being our next resistance. We could push a little bit towards that. We have a nice accumulation structure, nice reversal pattern. Could push higher from here. For, let's see what else is there. Amazon's looking decent. We hit 187. We have support at 186.2 and 185. Going to be looking for a push even higher towards 188. Could come down a little bit in an attempt to rebound, so watch for that. There is potential in Amazon. For Meta, we're attempting to push higher. We're going to be looking for a move all the way up to 525. Watch support at 520.8, followed by 519 and 518.28. Going to be looking for a little move down, followed by a push back up towards this wick at 525. So I see potential in this. For Microsoft, Microsoft is attempting to push higher. It's still kind of stuck at this resistance at 428, so it could push a little bit, but watch that resistance and see how it reacts. I also want to notice that the VIX is coming down a bit, watching support at 15.71. If we lose this on the VIX, I could see 14.8 coming, and the VIX is about to get a bearish crossover, a little bearish pattern. So that could be because of the market pushing higher. So we're seeing signals that suggest the market's going to likely attempt to push higher from here, but just be careful on Teslas. There's a possible head and shoulders like setup. All right, so that is it for the video. I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day, and I'll be back in just a couple of hours to give you guys another update. So take care, do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Thank you, and peace out.